It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report.
Got it. Oh man, I'm not gonna believe if this is a big crappie. Hey, welcome everybody to the show. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this big dude right here. Well, I tell you, I've been fishing a lot of years, but I don't think I've ever had this exact thing happen before. Welcome to your Southwest Outdoors Report. We're out here in the summertime, and I'm on Cooper Lake, which is located a little bit east of Commerce, Texas, and a little bit north of Sulphur Springs. It's middle of the day, very hot, not much wind, high pressure, and I was out here white bass fishing, just out doing a little white bass fishing, catching some on a jigging spoon. I hit a little hump, a little spot on the jigging spoon, caught a crappie. So I immediately set a waypoint on my Lowrance HDS system, threw a marker buoy out, picked up my little Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series crappie rod, my all-time favorite crappie rod, pitched my crappie bait in there, and look at that big toad. Now, I'm gonna keep crappie. I am not about to throw those back, so I'm gonna pitch him back in the live well. And I want to tell you that we'll pull back up there and try to dissect this, but this is the prime example of always being aware of your surroundings, being ready to change gears and be flexible on a moment's notice. We may be on one of the best crappie fishing spots while we're on a white bass fishing trip. Hey, in the next half hour, we're gonna dissect this a little bit. We'll be taking you around the region for all of your very latest fishing reports from Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas freshwater, along the Texas Gulf Coast and the Louisiana Gulf Coast as well. We'll have the Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. We'll have your big Costa Catch of the Week. Someone wins free sunglasses and much more. But first, let's get you back to the FSN studios. Here's Julie with your weekend planner.
Let's check all the information you'll need for planning your weekend fishing trip. According to the Salooner tables, you can expect good fishing conditions on both days this weekend. It appears peak times on Saturday will start at 11:55 in the morning, and Sunday's prime activity will begin at 12:50 p.m. Expect sunrise to take place at 6:53, with sunset happening at 8:08. And Friday is the beginning of a new moon, so we won't have much moonlight in the evenings. We'll be right back with all of your fishing reports from around the Southwest. And I'll have this week's Whataburger Ask the Pro with Dean Rojas sharing some advice about the best colors of bait to use when night fishing.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Mercury, the official outboard of the Southwest Outdoors Report for 10 years running. By Excite, start positive, stay positive. By Lew's Reels and Rods, feel the difference. And by Onyx Personal Flotation Devices and Rainwear, keeping you safe on the water.
Got it. There's another one. Oh, another good one. Another good crappie. All right. Hey, welcome back everybody. Your SOR doing some of the strangest fishing I've done in a long time. Came out to white bass fish and lucked onto one of the best crappie spots I've ever found. Well, since I last saw you a few minutes ago, I've actually had time to do a little more research on this spot. And again, I can't chalk it up to any knowledge of any kind other than threw that marker buoy out and got a chance to troll back and forth across the spot several times. What this is it is the main river channel that goes right down the middle of Cooper Lake, and I'm right out in the middle of the lake. I'm literally half mile from the nearest shoreline. And what we've got is we've got a ledge that's about 17 or 18 feet deep on top, falls off into about a 40-foot deep river channel. On the top side of the ledge, we've got a little bit of scattered brush. I'll show you a couple of quick shots on the structure scan. This is not a big brushy bush or tree of any kind. You can see just a little scattered stuff laying on the bottom. That marker buoy is sitting right on top of it, and those big crappie are literally right on top of that little bit of scattered brush. Hey, let's get you started with some of your regional fishing reports. Let's go to Oklahoma and check in with Gary Doll.
The recent striped bass hybrid lake record caught by Cliff Waddell that caught a couple of weeks ago serves as a really good reminder those fish get big in our state, and we've got a lot of great hybrid waters in Oklahoma. Now Cliff's fish weighed 10 pounds 4 ounces, caught it on a jig there at the dam area, and that was quite a ways off of our state record of over 23 pounds caught 15 years ago, but we have some great hybrid waters in the state. The Arkansas River's got a good hybrid population in it, Kanawha, Sooner, Hefner, and of course Lake Skytook behind me here. Now Skytook's just a few minutes from downtown Tulsa. It really has one of the highest catch rates for hybrids per acre. Skytook's about a 10,000 acre lake, gorgeous body of water. It's deep, it's clear, especially here on the dam end of the lake, and that's also the area that you want to focus on right now for your hybrids here in the summertime. Skytook's got a lot of these main lake points go way out in the lake. You're going to want to concentrate on those along with some of the deep water humps to look for those hybrids. Now I'd get out there about 35, 40 feet deep, look for those break lines on those points, look for the balls of shad on your sonar unit. If you find the shad, the hybrid's going to be nearby. Great bait choices this time of year, a bucktail jig with a white worm trailer on it, that jig and spoon, and of course live shad are hard to beat. Also, nighttime fishing in summer is great for hybrids. Put those lights down underneath the bridges. You're going to attract the bait fish in. That's going to bring some white bass in. You're going to catch some hybrids with them. Hybrid fishing in Oklahoma, summertime, got to do it. One thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
A few weeks ago, we featured summer bridge fishing for crappie on our show, and this week on the Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week, we feature one great bridge fishing hotspot for crappie all summer long at Lake Fork in East Texas. We locate the lake south of Sulphur Springs near Emory and Alba. We zoom in a little and we begin with the two State Highway 515 bridges here. Then there's the State Highway 154 bridge here, the 2946 bridge here, the 514 bridge crossing Birch Creek here, and finally the State Highway 17 bridge crosses several of the smaller creeks on the west arm like Williams and Mustang here. Lake Fork is loaded with bridges and they all hold crappie at one time or another, so get out of the heat. That's this week's Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week. Hey, headed into this next break, we want to show you some of the Costa Catch of the Week photos that have not made it on the show this season, but are good fish pictures from some of our viewers across the region nonetheless. We get hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of these photos each season here on the show. Only 39 of those will make the actual Costa Catch of the Week, but we like to roll several more of these in like you're seeing. Watch for your big catch of the week photo, and we'll roll in as many of these as we possibly can. Got another one. Hey, welcome back everybody. Your SOR today on a surprise crappie fishing trip for big crappie. There's another one. Man, we are catching some huge crappie today on Cooper Lake, and I tell you, it's just so strange when you come to do one thing and you wind up doing something else. I threw that marker buoy out on another little piece of brush, dropped my Bobby Garland baby shad crappie jig right back down on top of that brush, let it go down, held it right up above it, and another good sized crappie hit it. Duplicate the pattern. Once you establish the pattern, figure out the depth, where the crappie are holding, what kind of cover they're on, then you just go try to duplicate that and develop a pattern in other places around the lake. So now we've got at least 2 spots pinpointed that we can catch multiple crappie out of the same brush pile. Let's move along right now and check with Cajun, Phil, and Kevin.
I've been getting lots of reports from folks that said, hey Cajun, I went out, I gave it a try, we caught fish. Reports from over in Texas, Lake Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, of course, the Texas Louisiana Lake, and also over in Falls River. A lot of folks have been doing nighttime fishing. It doesn't matter whether it's a full moon or whether it's a dark night. You can catch bass at night and catch lots of them. And wake baits have been one of the best. This right here is called a hunchback. It's actually made by Strike Pro Lures. They've also got the -1s and they've got the bandits. The hunchback seems to be working the best. The hunchback can be worked at night or in the daytime for great success. It just wakes the top of the water. The bass look up, they see that bait waking. Whenever that thing's coming through the water like that, they explode on it. It looks just like an injured minnow or a shad. Perch, they cannot resist it. I tell you what, we even use it for redfish. And speaking of redfish, let's go right now to Captain Kevin, who's coming in off the lake right now to give you an up-to-date saltwater report.
Tell you what, right now the fish are in the late summertime pattern. These fish came from anywhere from 10 to 25 feet of water. We caught most of them on finger mullet. Yesterday I had a trip pretty close to this, and they actually bit plastic pretty good. Yesterday saltwater assassins were good on 1/4 ounce jig heads, but today it seemed like they wanted the finger mullet. Got a good box of fish, like I said, great. It's only going to get better between now and the end of the year.
Hey, in the month of August, we've launched our new Facebook sweepstakes where you could win a fishing trip with our saltwater insider reporter here on the show, Bill Olson. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Southwest Outdoors Report, click on the sweepstakes tab, follow the directions to like our page, and once you click the like button, you'll click on the enter sweepstakes button, fill out the form, and you might win a fantastic trip for speckled trout and redfish on the Texas Gulf Coast. Enter now.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. Quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride. By Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. And by Motor Guide Trolling Motors, engineering for anglers.
Got another one. Let's see what we got. Be a big crappie. Be a big crappie. Oh, it is. It is a big crappie right there. Get here. Coming up out of deep water. He's so good too. Got him. All right. Well, let me, hey, welcome back everybody. You're on your Southwest Outdoors Report. Catching big crappie today. Let's throw him in the live well again. Splashed your lens. Man, we got a lot of action going on here. Okay, now that we got the water off the lens, quickly let me show you how to fish this little ultralight rig. You want to fish it vertically, so you just open the bail, drop it straight down. Do not cast this rig or you'll get snagged every single cast. Let it go all the way down into the brush or right to the tops of the brush. Once you do that, click your bail into gear, hold your rod horizontally to the water, hold it perfectly still, lift it up above the brush gently, hold it real still. It's a dead sticking technique, and every once in a while, drop the rod tip and pop it right back where it was. Hold it for 20 seconds, drop it again, pop it right back where it was. Usually they'll hit it right after you pop it, and if you feel that brush, don't pull back, you'll snag. If you feel the brush, shake the rod tip, lift the jig up above the brush, and that's where you'll get bit. Here's Brian Hughes with the rest of your Texas Fishing and Lake Reports.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Executive Outfitters, your premier dove hunting outfitter in Texas. Now, we're going to stay on the rivers this week, but we're going down to the Trinity River at Lake Livingston, and we're going to fish for giant alligator gar. You'll need some heavy-duty equipment, rods, reels, line, and hooks, and you'll use about a quarter or a half chicken as your bait. Now, as you're working your way down the river, look for a bend or a narrowing spot, and that's where you'll want to lay out your lines. Now, I really recommend that you hire a guide the first time you do this. Search the internet, you'll find plenty. And please, show these fish some respect. It takes 30, 40, even 50 years for these fish to grow to giants. So practice CPR, that's catch, photograph, and release. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Executive Outfitters. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Puerto Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, reefs, slicks, shell pads, and working birds in deeper water have paid off for anglers on Sabine and Galveston bays. Sabine continues to see good bird activity with redfish and scattered trout underneath. From mid-bay southward, triple tails have shown up just off the end of the Sabine jetties. The shell pads in Trinity Bay and reefs along the Galveston Ship Channel have produced trout. Best depths have been from 8 to 14 feet deep. Slicks are popping up everywhere and have pointed anglers toward fish feeding on shrimp. Now, the deeper grass beds near Pass Caballo, as well as reefs in San Antonio Bay, continue to give up trout and reds to live bait and soft plastics. Further south, the outside of Trailer and Ransom Islands, as well as East Flats, are producing trout and redfish right along the break line on croaker and piggies. The land cut in Yarborough remain good for redfish that are showing signs of schooling up. Port Mansfield's deeper flats near the intercoastal remain good for anglers wade fishing. Out of Port Isabel, Longbar and the Causeways continue to give up good specks. At the Causeways and in South Bay, mangrove snapper and redfish are added into the mix. This weekend, Saturday has a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. This Sunday is a 3 tide day with 2 high tides and just 1 low. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Tracker Boats, Fish the Finest, by Lowrance and the all-new HDS Gen 2 with Structure Map Overview, by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability, by Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price, every day.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our Whataburger Ask the Pro. This week's question is from Chris in Snyder, Texas, who asks, what color of bait should be used for night fishing? For the answer, we asked Dean Rojas at this year's Bassmaster Classic.
You know, bass fishing at night can be a lot of fun. And I remember growing up doing a lot of that. And it's really neat because the bass really like to feed at night. And a lot of the lures that you would use in the daytime don't really want to throw at night. Night is more of a darker type, you know, blacks and browns and maybe some reds, you know, really dark colors, really silhouette, you know, against the bottom, you know, or on the surface. And it's always really good to fish during a full moon in the middle of the night. They can have, I mean, just having that extra aluminum light, the fish are really active and it can be a whole lot of fun. So go night fishing.
Thanks, Dean. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestouttdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and submit your information. Now back to Barry with our Costa Catch of the Week.
Hook it into gear, lift, drop the rod, snap it back. Got him. Big one. One more big daddy. Oh, look at that size. Look at the size of this crappie. Man, look at that. Oh, what a day. Well, that's one more for the live well. We are going to have us a fish fry this coming weekend. That little baby shad, Bobby Garland, just killed him. And we caught a bunch of toads like that. All right. Well, it's time to wrap it up here from Cooper Lake, and it's time right now for our Costa Catch of the Week winner. Let's check out this week's winner. He is Corey Jones of Houston, Texas, showing off a 28-inch speckled trout he caught out of East Matagorda Bay in Texas. And all of you photographers out there, take note of how this photo is properly framed. Hey, if you'd like to enter the contest, just go to the website at southwestouttdoorsreport.com. You will need to join and become a member of our fan club if you're not already. and you might win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses like Corey does on this week's show. You can see all of the Costa sunglasses at their website at costadelmar.com. Next up, it's time for the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature. We talk about the gear you'll need to do this, and this is now my all-new favorite rod and reel setup. It's the Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series Graphite Ultralight Rod. It's a 5.5 foot rod, got a lot of great action to it there, and good soft tip and a lot of backbone down here in the meat part of the rod. Great premium cork grip, well balanced, and it's the Lew's Wally Marshall Signature Series Crappie Reel. It's the WMS 75. A fantastic little setup for catching these crappie. What a blast that is. You spool it up with some strand. God, what is that? Something just bit it while I don't think this is a crappie even. We'll pull this up and see. It's probably going to be a white bass. It is, one more white bass, and we're going to wrap it up with that. I'll tell you, this is just an incredible day on Cooper Lake, and if you want to check out all that Lew's equipment, you can see it at their website at lew's.com. Most of the retail sporting goods locations around our region carry this setup, and as I was saying, you spool it up with 6-pound test. Stren fluorocast line makes the perfect setup. These fish should be out on these ledges right through the warm weather months and right into the early part of the fall. Thanks for joining us on this week's show from Cooper Lake, Texas. I'm Barry Stokes. Until next week, be safe, have fun. Bye-bye.